Gloombrard on Monstro Mondays. I'm your host, Smiley Monster, and if you're having a down day, I am here to make it pink. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Come chat with me in the comments section. I want to know how you're doing. I'm on over there. Come say hi. So, when a country is totally cool with crypto, it's all about having clear rules that make sense for everyone. They'll have tax laws that treat crypto like assets, which can be taxed on gains or sometimes not even taxed at all. And you got to have a killer setup for crypto transactions with tons of Bitcoin ATMs and services all over the place. It's all about encouraging everyone to get creative in the crypto world and keeping things chill with a super open vibe toward digital currencies. A country that is pro crypto is all about investing in the latest tech, like blockchain, and supporting startups. And the government has to be totally on board with pushing for more blockchain innovation and attracting businesses. And of course, you can't forget about the growing crypto scene and how everyone's getting in on it. So today I'm presenting my top 5 picks for crypto-friendly countries, places that you can visit, but also maybe you might want to move there. Let me know if you agree with my picks, and I'll tell you why. And then you tell me what you like as the best countries for crypto innovation, okay? So my very number 1 pick here today is going to be Switzerland. And here's where it is in the map, right there in the middle of Europe. And I picked it, the land of chocolate, cheese, and crypto. And I love innovation. So let me break it down to you. It's not just pretty mountains, pristine lakes, and waterfalls. It's really supportive of cryptocurrency. So let's talk regulation. Switzerland does not mess around when it comes to crypto. They have very clear guidelines and a progressive stance. They classify cryptocurrencies as legit assets, think like property or gold status. And they've got their tax game on lock with transparency and compliance reigning supreme. And let's not forget about Zug. It's also known as Crypto Valley. It's the heart of Switzerland's blockchain scene. It's totally like Silicon Valley, but with more chocolate and fewer hoodies. And they're even considering legalizing Bitcoin as actual legal tender in Lugano. So that's totally next level. And here's the kicker. They're not just about crypto hustling. They got their killer tax regulations and everything, but they also are known for their Swiss quality from stable political environment and economic environment and their chocolates. Did I mention the waterfalls as well? So, it might be a little on the pricey side, but it's totally worth every penny. So if you're new to crypto or you've got a big bag, Switzerland has got you covered. The next one on my list here is Singapore. And here's where Singapore is, down in Asia. Now, it is actually a very, big financial hub in Asia. They have a lot of skyscrapers, a lot of innovation. It's called the Lion City. Now, you're probably thinking, so what's so special? A lot of cities have that. Well, they're actually known as the crypto capital of the East. They have a regulatory environment that's as progressive as it gets, guys. They have a monetary authority of Singapore. So basically, this is like this cool kids club that are all about fostering innovation and collaboration in the crypto space. And they even have this thing called the sandbox where companies can come test out their crypto projects. That's really cool. And then regulations, they're very clear and flexible, but reliable. They've got it all figured out from anti-money laundering to counter-terrorist financing regulations, and they've got tax exemptions for specific digital tokens. Score! And it's not just about rules and regulations. They have the infrastructure to support this. They're very pro-business. They are known as the second highest rating in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. It's like the Silicon Valley of the East, but with better food, probably. And oh, you know what? The best part is no capital gains tax on your crypto profits. Dude, sweet deal. So that is an option. If you're thinking about the future, you might want to go to Lion City. The third one on my list here is Malta. Oop. And here's where it is in the world. It's actually an island. And it's a little island, but it's known as Blockchain Island. And for a good reason. They have progressive regulations, they have favorable tax policies, they have a great legal framework. They've got it pretty much all figured out. They have everything from the Malta Digital Innovation Act to the Virtual Financial Assets Act. And they're all about clear legal certainty for crypto businesses. They want to keep things really clean as well. They have anti-money laundering and KYC regulations. They have reduced corporate tax rates and exemptions, which is a really sweet deal if you got a crypto business and you're looking a place to set up shop, okay? And they also have that total Mediterranean paradise vibe. They got the pretty beaches and the food. It's just really chill, nice views, good weather. And then they have a tech scene. And the cost of living is pretty reasonable, especially compared to all the other European countries. That's kind of a win-win. So if you're thinking about making Malta your home, they got a little sweet residency program for you too that you might want to go check out and see if the details fit what you're looking for. Okay. Number 4 on here is Portugal. And here's where Portugal is, right there on the edge there of Europe. Now, the reason why I picked Portugal, it's kind of like a little hidden gem, but it's a huge tax-friendly environment for crypto. I mean, they really want to support crypto and crypto businesses. There is no taxes on crypto holdings or VAT to worry about. And if crypto is your main hustle, you can cash out euros without paying a single penny in taxes. That is like a dream come true. And they have a non-habitual residence program. This is a golden ticket for you EU citizens who are looking to make a move. Not only do you get to cash out your crypto tax-free, but you get a sweet 20% tax rate on employment income and no inheritance or wealth tax. Yeah, they've got that figured out. And there is a really thriving crypto community. They host events and conferences, workshops, meetings. There's always something going on in the crypto scene, and the government is fully on board with blockchain and crypto. And so there's another beautiful place, a vibrant community, beaches, beauty. So that might be a place where you want to take your laptop and set up shop. And then the last one I have on my list is Slovenia. And here where Slovenia is right there on the map. And the reason why I picked this one is the government isn't just cool with crypto, they're really supportive. They have these regulations from the Slovenian Prevention of Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Act. Try saying that 10 times fast, right? But you can totally trust that your crypto venture is in really good hands. There's no capital gains tax on crypto transactions for individuals, so you can keep more fiat in your pocket. And it's not just about crypto perks. They've got beautiful country and rich culture. There's good food. There's, all kinds of beautiful places to live there. And it's kind of a really laid back lifestyle there. So that might be a place that you want to check out as well. Check out the details and see if that's a place where you would like to live. And if you guys, again, have a place that you think is better than my 5 picks, let us know in the chat and let us know why. Do you live there? Do you have a business there? We'd love to know. More education, more information just benefits the community, right, guys? So, without our sponsor of the week, we would not be able to have these Monstro Mondays. So, this week's sponsor is Ozgirl Adventure Tours. She is the most adorable guide to the metaverse. She has a cute smile and boundless energy, and she will lead you on an unforgettable journey through virtual realms. Well, what's on the agenda? A little bit of everything. You can take a shopping spree in pixel perfect boutiques or participate in an epic gaming tournament. She has it all planned out for you. Have you ever dreamed of touring the Australian outback? Now you don't even have to leave your living room. Strap on your virtual boots and get ready for an adventure down under. And here's the best part. Everything in Adventure Girls World is powered by blockchain technology. You can even create your own monster avatar, collect rare digital treasures, and submit your review of your experience. Just ask Dave from Crypto Canyon, who got chased by a bored ape and lived to tell the tale. Or Sally from NFT City, who discovered a hidden treasure chest filled with pixelated riches. So what are you waiting for? Join Adventure Girl Tours of the Metaverse today and let the fun begin. Thanks, girl. Okay, now it's time for Token Tingles. The air crackles with anticipation as V and I pick our tokens that send shivers down your spines. Welcome back to Token Tingles. This week, we are going to unleash the ultimate Tingle Fest. Remember, this goes on for 12 weeks, and by the end, the monster with the biggest bag of tingle-inducing tokens will be crowned the Supreme Tingle Master. Are you ready, V?
I am. Look, I have my monster juice. Oh, I don't know if you can see the color, but
yes, it's blue.
There we go. It's Monstro Blue.
Yes, that's cool. That'd be fun if we only had like a blue day where everything had to be blue, all our food and everything. Hey, on the island.
except your feelings.
Yeah. No, we gotta have that pink. Okay, let's see how we did after our very first week.
Probably bad.
Yeah, everything's down.
Yeah.
Yours is down 19.97%. Mine is down 5.40%. And then even Sensei's BioFi is down 28.04%. So everything's down now.
Yeah. You know what would have been interesting if it was by market cap and then see who's down more dollars. But maybe that can be season 3.
Yes. We'll always be amping it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did you pick for this week?
Well, this token will be familiar with our community, I think. So I'm going to go with our friends at Alien Base. And the reason why is some of you may have noticed that they've been pumping a lot lately. And that's because Base as a chain was getting hotter. Aerodrome was picking up a lot. Coinbase, is heavily backing them. And that just trickled down to Alien Base's, as one of the top dexes, native dexes on Base. They've been around since August, just like us. I think our birthdays are 2 days apart. Wow. So we're always going to be, historically tangled. They were one of our first investments and still our largest. And I can say they've released now their East Road version of Valve. There's a massive amount of people, whales, who locked it up long-term through that. So definitely looks good. They're on a dip. That's why I'm picking them right now for the next 12 weeks, because they would have kept running, is my belief, if not for the overall macro market, stupid USA politics, all those usual things. So I do believe that they're going to, in 12 weeks, maybe be at 15 cents, maybe be at 20 cents. They're at, I think, 8 right now. So definitely my pick for this competition.
Good. And I hope it goes up just for Monstro as well.
For all of us.
Yes. Okay, I picked the Sandbox. And I know it's been around for a while, but I still think it's going to do well. So basically what they do is they let you build and own and then monetize your own creations in games. They have all these tools so you can create games or fashion items or virtual assets, and you can sell them. And they already have partnerships with like big brands like Gucci and Adidas, and they're very user friendly. They have a lot of tools and they have a lot of help. They even started some builder boot camps that they're going to be having coming up in the next couple of months. And they have a whole metaverse that you can completely explore. And they're just really popular, and they're constantly building all the time. They always have something new. They have events. They have a lot of support. So I like that. I like the chart. Right now, it's at 0.4611, and the market cap's big. It's $1 billion. But I really think that they're still going to grow. And as games get bigger, I think that they're going to do really well. So that's why I picked Sandbox.
All right. I'll throw in a fun fact for people. So one of the co-founders or founder of Sandbox, I always forget his first name, but I think it's Sebastian Bourget. He's also the founder of the Blockchain Gaming Alliance, of which we are a part of.
Oh, nice. So have you spoken to him personally?
I have not, but I've spoken to his right-hand man many times.
Oh, nice.
We actually got his permission to put him in a card game we were doing, which was called Rugged, where I think you guys have seen some of the sample cards. We had SBF, we had Caroline, we had a couple of others, Vitalik. It was like a very parody-style card game that never went anywhere because we could never, ever find funding. So, yeah, we got his permission that we actually have a sandbox card. We have the art, and we were going to have a card for him as well.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully that still can get developed eventually.
One day it's on the list, but obviously Monstro's, more urgent items until we get
Right.
to our token, that roadmap is paramount. After that point, when things are, opening up and we have a lot more resources, there are so many idea lists we have from the past 3 years that we'll definitely try to introduce a few of them.
Okay, sounds good. And it's short and sweet because we're only second week in, but stay tuned, guys, and keep an eye on it, and I'll post the results in the Discord.
All right.
Thanks. Okay, guys, now it's time to announce who our monster of the week is. And the monster this week is Jerome Benz. And I am totally psyched to give him a big shout out. He is not just your average investor, he is a monster of responsible investing in our community. Seriously, this guy is totally on top of his game. He's got this super organized spreadsheet where he tracks all his investments, and he's always keeping tabs on what's happening in the market. And he's not just one to sit back and watch, he's all about seizing opportunities and making moves that count. But it's not just about the numbers with Jerome. He's one of the friendliest and most supportive monsters around here. Whenever we're chatting, he's right there, sharing his wisdom, adding real value to the conversation. And you can tell he genuinely cares about everybody's success. And let's not forget his excitement for Blobby. His enthusiasm is contagious, and it's clear that he's totally pumped to see where things go with Monstro in the universe. So here's to Jerome Benz, our monster of the week and an all-around awesome monster. Keep on rocking it, Jerome. It's time for Monstro Mula Madness. We just celebrated our 36th weekly payday. It was made up of all earnings from Wednesday, April 17th through Tuesday, April 23rd. Payouts are in USDC on the BNB Smart Chain, and they did include Lazarus Pit bonuses and Cycle D. And I'm just going to skip straight to the good, juicy stuff, which is the ROI tracker. Genesis made 1.56%. They've ROI'd one time already. Cycle B, 1.56%, and they've ROI'd. Cycle C and Spooky was 1.56%. They're at 72.15% to date. They're getting closer. Cycle D got 1.80%. They're at 40.53% to date. And then Cycle E is up 1.56% or 11.36% to date. And then DGen's Phase 2 and the games earned $1.95 USDC per unit. And Cycle D always includes the bonus share from Cycle E sales, of which there were 61 this past week, which is awesome. Okay, time for my special guest this week, somebody you guys all know and love. My special guest this week is Varius. He is the project lead of our amazing community at Monstros. He previously worked at a mobile gaming company in Vancouver and helped them take it public. He's an avid gamer as well as a talented developer. And then he transitioned into NFTs. And two of the names you might even recognize, Whelps and Villains. And the bear market came and there just wasn't enough funding to continue at that time. So he started up Monstros, providing passive income for our community of investors. Welcome, V.
Hello. You may recognize me from a few minutes ago. But you can see now Monstro is in my background because we're no longer talking tokens.
Right. We're talking V. Okay, so I always start off with a word association game. Are you willing to play with me?
Of course, although my brain's a little slow this morning, but we'll see what comes out.
Okay, but that's good because then you're not overthinking it.
Of course.
Okay, so the first one is nostalgia.
Love it.
Okay, taboo.
Nothing to me.
Vinyl.
My dad.
Bite.
I just want to say he was not made of vinyl, nor did he wear it.
Okay, the next one was bite.
Fun.
Bullseye.
My best friend in the world.
Aw. School.
Waste of time.
Rage quit.
Never happened to me.
Oh. The new pornographers.
They'd go with nostalgia.
Yeah. Don Julio.
Not my favorite tequila.
What is?
There's so many that I don't know the names. So very
Okay.
quickly, I know this is not one word, but in Quebec, import laws are ridiculous. We do not get good tequila at all. We get like 4 brands. So every time I travel, I sample tequilas around the world, and there's
Nice.
just so many.
Cool. And then my last one is 2 words. Super Metroid.
Not one of my favorite games. I wasn't a platform side scroller type.
Okay, cool. Well, now, would you please give me a brief overview of Monstros, your project?
Yes. So for those of you watching this, you probably are familiar with Monstro, but if you're not, we started in August as a DeFi protocol that backed ourselves by yield farming. We really, really wanted to make it more fun though than the standard financial looking, kind of fintech, TradeFi style DeFi protocols out there. And the other part of our goal, other than being fun, vibrant, seeing if we could raise money this way, if we can build communities and relationships with investors for our games and other products where we got stuck the past couple of years, which, I'm sure we'll get into more later. We just decided, hey, let's do Monstro Universe. We make it a universe because we want to do a lot of things under it and really build a brand and a company as opposed to just a DeFi protocol or a DeFi project. And thus Monstro was born. And, anyone who's followed it, you can see we've done quite well. We're very happy about the progress. We're also very happy people have seen us honor our word about transparency, about reliability, about a lot of things that lack in the Web3 DeFi space, the past couple of years. People always call it the Wild West. Well, I guess, you can call us the sheriff. Actually, no, the sheriff would be more like the security companies. So I don't know what you'd call us. We're just that reliable outlaw.
We're the horse.
Yeah, we're the horses. Great.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, now I'm really curious about that school comment. So let's rewind back to your school days. And, everybody kind of falls into this certain role, like the class clown or the super smart one or the social butterfly. So looking back, what role did you gravitate towards and why do you think that fit you so well?
Well, I think in my elementary school and high school days, I would definitely have been the weirdo / nerd type, but with some of the class clown aspect as well thrown in. So here we only go to grade 11 in high school? I think so. Well, we have one less year than everywhere else. So I did graduate high school, but as soon as I started what we have as our kind of college, it just bored me to death and I dropped out. So effectively, I took computer sciences. They wanted me to learn things like COBOL and QBasic and Visual Basic and all these older languages. And when I asked the teacher what we plan to do with these in the future, his answer was, oh, you can maybe work at a bank or a big company. And the next day is when I dropped out.
That makes sense. I understand. You're totally bored. And so have you always been fascinated by computers and math? Has that clicked with you?
Math, I was always great at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, find myself fascinated with it. But I did, I really started young doing things like BBSs, bulletin board systems. I actually had such a terrible computer I got out of a, trash bin from my uncle's offices. That was my first computer. It was terrible. So all I could do was that I could not, run Windows 3.1. I could not do anything. So I really got into more of the, it wasn't Linux per se, but things like Super DOS and 4DOS and using that, going on IRC, where I met, a lot of friends, my first boss, have a deep connection to Internet Relay Chat and Channel Montreal, which was, I guess, in the late 90s, all this was going on. And then playing a few, games on there. We used to trade a lot of text files about weird things like astral projection. Um, yeah, I want to say, MIDI files were the rage. Then there were MP2s. So that's how old I am. But
When did
getting
okay.
into it, yeah, I always I liked it, but I always used it as a means to an end more than like I enjoy challenges, but when it gets like writing redundant code or boring tasks that I've done before, then I lose interest quickly and it feels like a chore. So
Right. When did you start making money with your coding?
I'm still waiting.
Okay. Well, what
No,
did you
I did work for an e-commerce startup in I think it was 2000, maybe 2001.
Mhm.
They turned into a complete rug pull. So
Oh, no.
that term has been around much longer than this space. It actually was. I won't go too deep because it's a long story, but I will say I started as data entry. My friend worked there. Then I learned Cold Fusion because they needed junior Cold Fusion programmers. But long story short, as I was learning programming there, it was run by a bunch of Canadian Football League players. It was a complete IPO stock scam, and they all dumped
Oh.
everything and made millions, and the rest of us just got laid off.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
Yeah, but I
So,
guess technically that was the first job I had where I used programming.
nice. So what does your coding cave look like? I mean, how many monitors do you have? What's your ideal setup there?
I am a complete minimalist as far as
Oh,
that goes. So I have one monitor right in front of me. It's a widescreen, but it's not huge. It's like I think 32 inches, um, and that's it. I hate working on laptops. I find the screens too small,
mhm.
and I only do it when I travel, like when I have to. But otherwise, yeah, it's a simple desk here. Um, that's it. I have a mouse. I have a keyboard. That's all I need.
Okay. Well, what
I'm
made
I'm a
you
master of Alt Tab, if that helps anyone.
right? What made you decide to then start an opportunity where you have a community, you have a team? That's a lot of people. You went from one guy to this big team. What made you decide to do that?
Well, after that first job, everywhere I've worked, I quickly moved up and typically became their CTO. So
Mm.
I've had to do a lot of the HR stuff, vetting, hiring, firing. I've had to manage teams and work with teams. Some of them were very large. Some of them were, a good. I prefer a small team of key people, which I feel like Monstro, that's the style we're building. We do need to expand. We do need some other areas, to bolster them. But that'll come hopefully as we get more resources in the future. I prefer definitely small teams. I prefer flat teams. Like everyone should be able to talk to quote the boss.
Right.
I think companies with a whole bureaucracy to them, red tape, and that it just slows everything down. It frustrates people. It's not a fun vibe. So yeah, my preference has always been to work with startups, and that's pretty much what I've done. I don't think I've ever worked for a big company. I've consulted with a few, and I remember one of them was Bodog, which, if people remember, Calvin Ayer, they were really big at a time, sports betting, poker, all kinds of things, and they had an office of over 40 programmers for those kind of basic sites where you could probably get by with two key guys. And when I asked the owner, what are all these people doing? He's like, I don't know. So that's basically how a lot of companies operate,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah, because I love how receptive you are to the community and what they want, like with DGen's phase 1.5. But have you ever had a time where you had to go against the community as a leader because you felt it was your responsibility?
I can't think of a specific case right now, but I'm sure there has been at least once or twice. And yeah, this is why I always say often, like, I don't really believe in democracy or
Mhm.
DAOs or things like this, because I think you do need someone to make the final decision. And even on our team itself, we get along pretty well and we typically go along with each other. But if someone had to step in and make a final decision against the rest of the team, that person would be me, and I would feel no problem being able to do so. But yeah, it doesn't come up too often. Like, we're usually pretty open minded, and it's more about maybe you have a great suggestion we can't do right now. We put it on the list as opposed to saying no. But I feel like, yeah, maybe when more products come out and when the token comes out, there might be people saying like, oh, I don't like this about the token, we should do this. And even if a bunch of people say it, if it's something we disagree with, we're always looking at the big picture, whereas some people are looking at their own self-interests, right? So
Right. I think collaboration can be a game changer in this space. A partnership can really help a lot. So when you're looking for a team or a project to partner with, what kind of things do you value when working with other teams?
number one is communication, because
Mm,
it's extremely frustrating to try to get partnerships going when the other team doesn't communicate well.
right.
Often it could be because they're busy with their own things, but it comes often as either, you announce a partnership, you could be excited, you could have plans, and then you look bad to your community if they can't come through. And this is something we experience, not to say anything bad, but the busyness factor is definitely a hurdle, because for golems, for example, we would love to have had it out by now, but we are working with a partner who have been very busy, and it's the nature of what they do, right? They're on the show circuit, they're talking to people, making connections, doing all these things, but that also hurts our ability to move forward. So, it's a double-edged sword. When you find a partner you like and want to work with and think it'll be a win-win, yeah, communication is the number one thing I check. Also, very small details about it. Like if someone, misses calls without giving you a heads up, or if they, and some people miss these calls and then never talk to you for like days after.
Right.
So it's just weird. But things like that show us, okay, they might not be the people to follow through on things. They might be disorganized, right? There's a lot that can be said about small details. So yeah, we really try to find things that are like true partnerships. Also, we don't like how most people use the word partner, but it's actually like a quick collab. We
Right.
want our partners to actually do something more integrated, when we can. So it's very hard to find them. I can say that we have people looking. We have a lot of talks that just go nowhere, get ghosted, run into dead ends, or end up with things like, oh, let's revisit in a few months. So yeah, it's very time consuming and it doesn't result in much, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of potential of partnering with people out there. But yeah, it's, again, this space is still immature. It's very young. That'll probably improve later as more professionals come in. But for now, it's a lot of people who, a lot of them have never run any sort of business before or worked in a high up position in any sort of company. So it's kind of new to them all and they're all learning, right? So I'm sure a lot of it will improve.
True. And as it grows in this space, and I think I've heard you said before, you still don't feel we're in full bull run yet. What strategies do you plan to use to make Monstro stand out and attract investors?
That's kind of the area we need to absolutely improve. So marketing, the thing is we have right now, two of our co-founders, right, Gabo and Adam,
Mhm.
they both specialize more in a specific niche of marketing, a certain area. And obviously our team, our mod team, including yourself, are great at helping us as well. But we don't currently have that person who, I don't know how to say this, is really an aggressive kind of out there salesperson, like a rep, someone who's constantly just meeting with people, and that could be in person as well, right? Like they're
Right.
at the shows, they're bringing people to drinks and dinners and networking nonstop. That is a person we're missing right now in the team, which we obviously want to add, at some point in the future, especially when we're getting closer to the token. So that's an area we really need to improve on. And I think that is the key to our future growth. Other than keep proving our results over time, right? We get people who have still never heard of us who come by and now start asking questions about the vault, ask questions even about yesterday. Someone was, telling me they're doing research about us. They might be interested in a fortress or a kingdom, which are the $50,000 or $100,000 investments. We've had someone I've had a call with now. They're not in Monstro yet, but they're potentially willing to put 5 or 6 figures in because they just heard about us. So it's still a process. And as we're, proving our results longer, I think the word spreads more and more. And, once we're there for a year, year and a half, have more products, have more TVL, it'll just grow exponentially from that point onwards.
I agree. And we may just end up with a gazillion tickets now in the Discord because of your announcement. We need a marketer. But can I?
Yes, everyone is a marketing expert in this space, so it's pretty easy
Yes,
to find.
I've noticed that. So, can you walk us just shortly, briefly through what is your process? How do you find these places to put liquidity in for Monstro?
So it really depends on the market, because when it's down, like right now, our results are low. They're always green though, which is something
Mhm.
not everyone can say. Um, they're low, and there's a lot of pools that have fallen out, and it's a matter of, do we want to cut losses? Will we recoup them if we move to fresh pools that are doing better, or are we just taking more risk and it's better to stay patient? So over time, we've grown more patient because we're still at a size and we have some money that is still producing. But yeah, when we started, we were a lot more risky, right? So the thing with the high risk, high APR is we are constantly chasing and moving around, which is not the strategy everyone employs. So for us, it's different than a lot of people. If we were really focused on never having a permanent loss, we'd have a completely different mindset as to how we search and find and vet pools. But here we do have a high risk appetite. So we kind of do follow the volume and the trends. But we've become better at avoiding some as well. And, a lot of people tell us, oh, why didn't you jump in this one? Why didn't you jump in this one? And then we see why, because in, 5 days, they're down 75%.
Oh.
And the yield would not have covered that, not even close. So we already learned those lessons early on in some of them that we were in. So now, yeah, we're trying to really just focus on the ones that we know are producing, consistent, have a future. And then the other ones, we still mix in some, there were some meme coins, obviously, were down on a lot. The pools fell out. But if you actually add up what they produced for us while they were producing, there's a lot of them we're in the profits on. It's just we pay those profits out, right? So it looks now like we have, for example, a lot of impermanent loss, but not really. Like if we closed the pool at a loss and counted the money paid out, we're actually in the green on them. So it's something not everyone thinks about, like the different angles to see it. But yeah, as far as finding them, there's YouTube videos we watch from a bunch of different people. There's groups we're in. There's the community suggests to us. They're very helpful on the ground. Eyes and ears. Gabo does a lot of that part where he's always hunting them. So yeah, it's kind of a combined effort from a lot of sources.
Oh, I love it. And if I'm in the community, and I know we have a great community, but just to reiterate, if I'm in the community of Monstro, how can I best support you?
To best support us is to be active, to try to share it. Word of mouth is still probably the number one way we've grown.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of marketing avenues don't work yet for DeFi for what we're doing. We learned that during DGens.
Right.
There's not many sources out there that either approve what we're doing and accept our ads or convert. So yeah, word of mouth is by far the number one thing. Support our socials, right? Like if you should smash subscribe right now.
Right.
like the video, watch, share with your friends. The same for Twitter or X. Anything you can do like that it only costs you time. And then if you obviously want to get involved, by buying our NFTs or whatever product we may have, you're more than welcome. And then chatting, we understand it's a passive income product. A lot of investors are not there to chat. They don't have time to chat. But it is fun the more people that hang out and, add to our vibe. And that also does help yourself, because if new investors come by, they're doing their due diligence, they check the Discord, an organic positive community is going to be more appealing to them than, very little chat going on, or obviously some Discords employ chatters and it just looks ridiculous, and they're very easy to spot. Typically they're non-native English speakers and such. So I think, yeah, every little bit, helps. And we understand why a lot of people, they're here to invest and make money. They're not here to chat. But if you are, it is helpful. It does help everyone.
I totally agree. And I want to ask you now, I know that we are a small team and you do so much. So, how do you balance your personal life and still get everything done that you need to do?
So I decided to I've always prioritized having fun over anything else in my life.
Mhm.
Meaning not my dog, not family and stuff, but as far as work. So I've always put pleasure over work, and work was always the means to try to fund that pleasure. Now I decided this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity, to use the cliche,
Mhm.
that running into this next cycle, it is an opportunity where I feel I can set myself up for life, never need to work for clients again, never need to work for, ever look for a job, hopefully, expand Monstro, do everything I want to try under it and do with it. And I find Monstro fun. So I'm finally being able to combine them both. But as far as like personal social life, I have decided, I'm fairly ignoring it for at least the next year, because I really want to prioritize doing everything we want to do to be set up forever and then do anything I want in life. So that's the decision I've made. So far as like trips, partying, girls dating, all this stuff, I do a little bit of it here and there still, but I've definitely deprioritized it. Whereas in the past, that was my number one priority.
Got it. How did you and Bullseye become partners?
Bullseye's a rescue, as I've had
Oh,
many rescue dogs in the past.
oh.
And I was living in New York at the time. New York is the only period in my life I didn't have a dog with me,
Mhm.
because I didn't feel it was fair while I was out partying to have them in an apartment. So that was a period I missed having a dog tremendously. And as soon as I moved across the river to Hoboken, New Jersey for a bit, I went to a rescue, and Bullseye became my new best friend.
Nice.
But I wasn't actually there to get Bullseye. I had seen a rescue on their website that I really wanted. He was an older German Shepherd named
Mhm.
Neo, and Neo. It's very hard for older dogs to get rescued typically.
Right.
So I really like. He was beautiful. I went to go meet him in person, and they were doing it. The volunteers who run the rescue, they were bringing dogs to like a parking lot, like for a exhibition, I guess, or a little showing of them. And when I got there, they said, "Oh, the person bringing Neo isn't here yet. They'll be here in like an hour." So I told them, I'm, almost sure I'm going to adopt him, but I obviously just want to see him in person first and feel the connection. I'm going
Right.
to go next door. Adam was with me actually. I'm going to go
Mhm.
next door to have lunch, have a drink, whatever. Here's my number, right? Just text me when Neo arrives, and we'll come back over, and more than likely going to adopt him. So we did that. Never get a text, right? We finish lunch, come back over, and I'm like, "Hey, did Neo arrive?" They're like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Great, where is he?" They're like, "Oh, someone adopted him."
Oh, that's terrible.
I
Oh,
was angry. I was like, "What?" I'm like, "We literally were next door. You have my number. We
right.
told you all this." He's like, "Well, can't take the chance that they wanted him. You weren't here, so too bad. Like, sorry."
Oh.
So I was angry, and I contacted the owner of the shelter,
Mhm.
and he told me, "Look, we just got a dog back from Alabama. The owner went to prison for 20 years. It's a very special dog, a very awesome dog, very unique. You're going to love him." And when he told me the size and the type, I always loved much bigger dogs. So
Right.
I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this." And he's like, "Look, I will drive it, drop it off to your place, have him for a week, see what you think,
Mhm.
and if you want to keep him, keep him. If not, we will take him back." And I said, "Well, all right, I guess." And thus, that was Bullseye.
Yes, that's awesome. I love
He
that
was 1 year
story.
old at the time, and now he's nine
Oh,
and a half.
wow. Nice. Oh, so you've been around together for a long time.
We've traveled a lot of places. We've had a road trip from, well, when I moved back to Montreal from New Jersey, we've had
Right.
a road trip where we had to fly someone to drive us from Florida.
Wow.
He's flown on a plane once,
Mhm.
and yeah, he's getting ready. Hopefully, in a couple of months, the plan is to move back to British Columbia. So, if that happens, I think we're gonna do it by road trip again. It'd be fun.
Oh, awesome. I love road trips. Okay, now you said the word Neo, so I have to ask you my question. So, if you could have like the Matrix movie where something was like a skill instantly downloadable into your brain, what skill would you pick?
I would probably say the weakness in my work skills is definitely marketing, but I don't know if I want to learn it because I hate it. I just hate it so strongly. So, no, maybe I would pick to learn. Can I download every language in the world into my brain? I think I
Sure.
can, right?
Yes. Right.
All right, so I will do that one because I love travel. And then if I know every language, well, A, it's very impressive, and B, there's no one I can't speak to.
That's a good point. Yeah. So, do you have a personal philosophy of life?
Yes, have fun.
Nice. That is in our website name.
Yeah, that's always, like I said, I've always prioritized pleasure over pretty much anything else. And if I were to die today, sorry monsters, but don't worry, there's backup plans, there's contingencies. I don't regret, that I didn't not to put these people down, but there are people, people refer to them as like the 9 to 5ers, and a lot of people work towards their retirement and then picture that's when they're going to have all their fun.
Right.
I definitely don't believe in that because anything can happen for one, whether it be health wise, whether it be financially, whether it be, you don't make it to retirement. So I've always definitely had a lot of fun. I have crazy stories from my youth from all around the world. So
You
I
can't tease
definitely,
that. Now
yeah,
you
I
have to tell us
definitely do
one.
not. I would not think I had an unfulfilled life. I've been married twice. Once was to a really old lady. There's a lot of things I've done.
Okay, will you tell us one story, please, before we go?
All right, which one do you want?
The craziest that won't get us kicked off of YouTube.
All right. This one's pretty PG, pretty tame.
Okay.
It comes from the land of Germany, from Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with friends at Oktoberfest in Munich one year. And back then, yes, I was a very heavy drinker and party animal type. I lost my friends very early in the day. And all I have is like shards of memories, right? Of anyone who's been like a blackout drunk knows you get little pictures and try to piece them together. But the details later were filled in for me and from one of my friends and from the hotel I was at and from the police. So effectively, I ended up, I guess, how can I put this? There's a franchise of hotels in Germany called Fleming's. And first thing you should know is they're all very tiny, tiny, tiny rooms. And that's kind of important to the story. And second is, this I didn't know and I learned, but it's absolutely true according to them. They shared, it probably changed by now, but back then they shared a network when they programmed the key cards. So effectively, if you're in room 123 in location 1 and you have a card, you can enter room 123 in location 2 or location 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess crime is not a thing really. It's not very high in Germany, and especially in these tourist hotels around Oktoberfest apparently. So I guess nobody ever considered it a problem. You could probably tell where this is going, that drunkenly
Yes.
I went to the right room at the wrong hotel. And all I know is I woke up with the German police, wanting to handcuff me and yelling at me, and a elderly couple in the doorway of the hotel room.
Oh no.
Now, the one thing I will never ever know is, did I come in and just flop on bed? And this is a tiny room with like a tiny bed.
Right.
Did I just come in and flop in bed with this elderly couple who were there too? Or, did somehow I come in earlier and they were out late? Or I have no idea what time it could have been. So maybe they were even out for an early breakfast. Old people tend to eat at 5 a.m. I've seen. So I have no idea which case it was, but I like to think that I flopped down in bed with them. But all I know is the cops took me downstairs, and I tried to keep showing them my room key. They ran it, and then everyone started laughing, and they actually basically explained this. Not right then, because they were mostly speaking German, which I don't understand, even though I have German blood in me. But yeah, so they drove me back to my location, and then to top it off, somehow when I got out of their car, I felt like I was just arriving at the hotel for the first time. So I started yelling at them in the street. By this point, I remember because I was a bit soberer. I totally remember yelling at them that they stole my luggage and throwing rocks at the cop car.
Oh no.
And they came back, drove backwards, and asked me what the problem was. And I told them they stole my luggage. And they basically told me, "Sir, wouldn't it be in your room, upstairs?" And when I went in, yes, it was obviously in my room.
Yay. Oh my gosh.
So that's a very tame one, a PG one for this.
Oh my gosh, if that's the PG one, whoa.
That's extremely tame, but it's a fun story because most people, if you tell it, they're like, "Nah, that didn't happen." But I have friends who are with me, the one who was staying in the room with me over there, like they all know this stuff happens. They've been
Right.
witness to much worse than that. So
Right. Oh, well, this has been fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, and everybody in Monstro and the extended community can find out more about you. And I think that's what it's all about, getting to know the people in this space and learning who they are and getting to know and trust them. And so I appreciate your time today.
no problem.
Okay,
So, all right, monsters, have a great Monday by the time you see this.
right. Thanks, V.
Bye.
Hey, Monster fam. Just a little reminder from Smiley Monster. No matter where you are in the world, gratitude is the totally ultimate vibe booster. So what if your country isn't totally on board with crypto? As long as you've got a heart full of gratitude, you're golden. So take a second to soak in all the good stuff around you, the sunshine, the smiles, the little everyday good stuff, like the smell of cookies. I got cookies on my mind lately. Trust me, happiness is a state of mind. It's not your zip code. So let's keep spreading those good vibes and living our best lives, no matter where we live, okay? Stay grateful. See you next Monday, monsters. Bye.